Hi, this is Miss Litton, and this is my wonderful APBio 7th period review, the first of the 2016-17 school year. Say hi. Hi. They're super smart and super wonderful. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about big picture items, okay? I'm going to go through this review. I have some practice questions in here I can ask you, and that will get you ready. But so you remember, it will be 5 questions over this chapter. 5 questions over this chapter. They will be multiple choice. They may be specific. They may be general. Do you remember how to do chi-square? Yeah, maybe there will be a chi-square on there. So if there is a chi-square question, I will give you the formula. That's not a formula you have to memorize. For the AP exam, they will give you that formula. It's on one of your formula sheets if you want to take a look at that, as well as the chart, so you can look to see if it's significant. Okay, before I start on the review, is everybody in some sort of group shared notes, so you're taking notes together? Anybody looking for a group to join? Okay, are you in a group? Do you want to be in a group?
Is it our class?
You can be in whoever you want. Yeah. During 7th period, I have people that just join whoever, and they just say, somebody share with me, and you give them the email, and then you have those group shared notes. Okay? Any other questions on that? Yes? No? All right. Yay. All right. So the very first thing we did is, and I'm going to go through some things pretty quick, and this is one that I will go through quickly. We talked about the characteristics of life. So here we go. Let's do that together. Living things are organized, made of cells. They acquire materials and energy. They maintain homeostasis. They respond to stimuli and reproduce. They grow and develop, and they adapt and die. Good. You just want to make sure you understand what each of those things mean. When we say living things are organized, made of cells, do you remember the 2 types of cells I said there were when we talked about it in class? Yes, Michael. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Which one has membrane enclosed organelles? It's usually larger. Tell me. Eukaryotic. You know how you can remember that? You are eukaryotic. Okay? Prokaryotic cells are things that belong from the 2 domains, bacteria and archaea. And we'll study more about that later, but living things are organized. But we learned how those things are organized. Do you remember the order? And where does life start? Where can you say life starts here? Where is that? The cell. That's where life starts. So let's go through the organization of life. Wait a second, I need to get some data on this experiment. Okay, here we go. Ready? Atom, molecule, organelle. Now let me ask you a question. Do all cells have organelles? What cells have organelles? Eukaryotic cells. Okay, let's go again. Atom, molecule, organelle, cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism, population, community, ecosystem, biosphere. Now, atoms are things like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Molecules is when you join those together through some sort of chemical bond, right? Atom, molecule, organelle, like a nucleus, a chloroplast, mitochondria. Cell, there's prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Atom, molecule, organelle, cell. What comes next? Tissues. Tissues are groups of the same cell, same type of cell. Then you can use tissues to build what? Organs. Name an organ for me. Heart, okay. And then that heart can be part of a larger thing called an organ system. Then you put several systems together and you have an organism. Groups of the same species are called a population. More than one species is a community. Mix in the environment and you have the ecosystem. And where all life exists? Biosphere. Turn towards your bio buddy. Tell them how well you understand that. All right.
Pretty well.
Now, we said we're going to take all of science, and for the College Board specifically, we break it down into 4 big ideas. We expanded on this a little bit in my period 3 class. So period 1, we're going to get you caught up with our little dance. We added to the dance of period 1. So big idea 1 is the process. We're going to remember the process of what? Evolution. Say that with me. Evolution. Okay. Then the second big idea, what did we talk about? It's all about what? Energy. What's the third big idea about? Information. So what are we making right here? DNA. And it's about storing, help them out, period 4. Store, transmit, retrieve, respond. Okay, do that with us again. Ready? Information, what is this? DNA, we store, transmit, retrieve, respond. Hi, sweetheart, how are you?
Good.
Are you doing well?
What?
Are you doing well?
Yeah.
Are you getting all A's?
No. I have one B.
It's better on me in biology.
It was.
What?
It's the hardest bio class that we've ever had.
What did you get on your AP exam?
5.
Okay. These are all children who want to get a 5 on the AP bio
5.
exam. Okay, good to see you.
I did get an A in the lab though.
Okay, I'm very proud of you. Don't remind your mom I still like granola.
Okay.
Okay. Even when he wasn't in my class, I made his mom makes this yummy granola. So does another student I found out last year. This yummy granola, and so even when he wasn't in my class and we're breaking for winter break, I'm like, remind your mom, I like granola. So she still brought me granola, even though I don't have her child anymore. It's awesome. Okay, energy, and then what's our last one? Biological systems, and we decided this was a good one, right? Interact, okay? Turn towards your bio buddy, say them together. Just turn towards each other, come up with all 4 big ideas. Right now. Don't look at the board. All right, come back to me. I'm going to pick it up a little bit. We said all life is similar because you can see that similarity in the types of chemical reactions they do, like maybe glycolysis, the types of molecules they have. Remember how we learned about the 4 important organic molecules? Tell me what they are. Lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids. Do you remember the 3 important inorganic molecules? Oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. See how smart you are? So there's similarity, and when you talk about what is LUCA? What does LUCA stand for? The last universal common ancestor. Good. All right. So we talked a little bit about LUCA, okay, and that we can trace life back to LUCA. But why do we have such variety of life, this tremendous biodiversity? Why do we have that? Give me some reasons. Why the biodiversity? Why aren't we all the same on this entire planet? Yes?
Natural selection?
Okay, natural selection is the force. What's occurring? Evolution. Okay? And so evolution, what's happening now? You're seeing change over time. Okay? And you have... If you're living in Antarctica, or you're living in Australia, or you're living in North America, you have different environmental conditions, and organisms are what to those conditions? Adapted to those conditions. And the ones that survive and reproduce the best, okay, are the ones that are going to continue to reproduce, and that process is called natural selection. That is the mechanism for evolution. It is not the only mechanism, okay, but it is one of the factors that contribute to that. But you can also have chance, genetics drift. And I gave you an example. You could have brown frogs, green frogs, and the tree falls on the what? Brown frogs. And kills them all. It doesn't mean that the green frogs are more adaptive. Those are just the ones that survived and reproduced. Okay? So change over time is evolution. One of those mechanisms is natural selection. We talked a little bit about this. This is not a scary chart, okay? In essence, what it says is you could have mutations, variation in the DNA, then you have these different genes, the genotype, which codes for the phenotype, the way it appears. Some of those phenotypes are better adapted than others, so those are the ones that are going to survive and reproduce. If you are not well adapted, if you are a penguin and you have no blubber, and that is the mutation and the adaptation you have, do you think you're going to survive? No, you will die. What is that called when you have whole groups of organisms die out? Extinction. Okay, that's all that is. And then you take all of life and you can classify it. And we're going to go into a whole chapter of classification and taxonomy. And we're going to look at evolutionary relationships. And there's a lot more to that. This was just an introduction. And these right here are the three big domains. Basically, you can put life into all three of these domains. You have already learned about archaea and bacteria. These are the two prokaryotic cells. Eukarya, what do you hear in that? Eukaryote. Yeah, all of these have membrane enclosed organelles. Those are the four posters to the right. This includes fungus and plants and animals, and then protista. They can be unicellular or multicellular structures. Turn towards your bio buddy and ask them, do you have any clarifying questions so far? Anything you want to direct to me that I can help you out with? Questions? Ori?
Is domain the only thing you need to know? Do you have to go more specialized?
To the kingdom, phylum, class, order,
Yeah.
family, genus, species?
Yes.
No. But you will. Yeah, eventually. Yes?
Are the other two domains, bacteria and archaea, are they?
They're both made out of prokaryotic cells. And bacteria is more universal. It's everywhere. It's on your keyboard you're typing on right now. All over your skin. Archaea are your more extremophiles. And we'll be talking about those when we get into classification. I'm just introducing them here. All right. Next, we talked about, we switched to another big idea. We talked about energy, and we talked about that there's different ways to measure that energy. For a quiz like this, you do not need to memorize those, okay? So don't like go, oh, I can't remember what a kilojoule, our British thermal unit is. Okay, you don't have to worry. Those were just examples. Energy is the capacity to do work. That's what I want you to take away, okay? And big idea number two, first big idea is about evolution, right? Big idea number two is all about energy, and that is the capacity to do work. And we had a definition for metabolism. Do you remember that definition? Your metabolism. Anybody want to try? Yes. Yes, all the chemical reactions that go on your body. Some of those release energy, some of those require energy. There's anabolism and catabolism, and anabolism is about building and catabolism is breaking down. It's all those enzyme-mediated reactions in your body, all your enzyme-mediated reactions in your body. We also looked about how energy can flow through a system, okay? And we also looked at chemical cycling, and we compared those two. So chemicals, we have a finite amount of chemicals here on our planet, and so those are just going to get reused, 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 whereas energy is going to flow. Actually, whoever's the youngest bio buddy, explain that chart when I talk to Ms. Shpalya. Thank you. Thank you. All right, did you explain it? All right, that's pretty easy. Okay, then we can't forget about the turtle, just because I love the turtle. Okay, who just went, oldest or youngest bio buddy? Oldest bio buddy, could you please give the definition of homeostasis? Because that's why the turtle's eating. He's trying to maintain his homeostasis. Give the definition. Okay, so he's trying to keep a constant internal environment, even if there's a fluctuating what? External environment. Even within himself it can fluctuate, right? He can create waste that he needs to dispose of. So he's trying to keep this constant internal environment. Okay, so we talked about evolution. We talked about energy. Now what is this talking about? What is this relating to? What big idea? It's DNA. What's it relating to? Yes. Information. That is your third big idea. And DNA is our code book for life. We can use that DNA to make RNA and use that RNA to build what? Proteins. Good. Everything I see right now, everything I see on you, besides your clothes, is protein. Who dictated the proteins that I'm looking at right now across this room? Okay, and your DNA. Your parents gave you your DNA, but your DNA is coding for all the proteins that I'm seeing right now. Now, we talked about ways to reproduce. You could join a sperm and an egg. That would be one way, through sexual reproduction. And that's how, we work. But you could do things like binary fission. But this type is like cloning. But bacteria can have sex too, and we're going to learn about them extending their little pelvis with some DNA and exchanging, like we talked about. So there's asexual and sexual reproduction. And sometimes in the process we get mutations. And then that fits right into whether it's adaptive or not, and back into evolution as well. We talked about collective responses. It could be an individual or it could be a group of organisms, and that would be behavior. Just briefly touched on that. We already did organization of life. You're good on that. And youngest bio buddy, explain, based on this organization, what emergent properties are. Okay, so do the properties of an organ, are they different than the properties of an organ system? Yeah, new things happen. That's all emergent properties means. Okay, and then we talked also about cooperation and competition, which is about what? Interactions. Good job. Okay. And then I asked you this question, which there are some other questions I have for you too, but you should get 100% on this question. You are restaurants today? Oh, who must we shame? Oh, lamppost pizza. Okay, lamppost pizza picked D. Why are we not picking D, rest of the restaurants? What's wrong with D? Why don't we like it? Molecule before cell and tissue before organ. Okay, ask your restaurant friend, do you understand now? Are you lamppost? All right. So now, this is going to bring us to science practices, and I'm going to record this as a separate video in case just you want to review this at some point. So those of you on science practices, look for this in the next video. Okay, be super smart.